Good evening, everybody. Welcome back, and we have our second-time guest, Bill, here with us. He's not on camera yet again, but that's okay. We're going to make that happen later on. So we're going to take a lot of time here. Obviously, I do have the questions up this time, so I do want to hear from you guys and what you guys want to know and what you need to hear for the project. The other big thing, and Bill and I were talking on the before we launched. That's why it took us a second to go live. There's a lot of real world, for lack of a better term, shit going on here. And there's a lot of lack of vision and lack of, I think, understanding, a lack of awareness of what tasks are at hand here. So I'm going to let Bill have a chance to talk here for a bit. Just kind of go through the status right now, where we're at, what's going on in the background, and then we can maybe hint on some other things. And I'm sure there'll be some questions. So if anybody has any, please put them there. Sorry, I should let you talk too.
No, it's all good.
On the right, and then first I'll just let Bill kind of go with it. Most of you know who he is, I think, from last time, or hopefully you're in the Discord or in the Telegram listening to what's going on with the project. But lots of amazing stuff here. So I really want to take some time to dig into it. So Bill, I guess start wherever you want to start, kind of thing, just kind of letting us know where we're at.
I guess I'll just start with a little overall update of where the asset stuff is, like the domes, how that's going.
Yes, please.
And we'll start with that, and we'll go from there. The domes are, obviously, I sent the pictures just the other day of the skirting going around the decks. That's about 90% done right now. The boys got that just about finished today. Not completely done, but they're almost there. The electrician's got about 70% of the wiring done, and we have everything figured out, a total plan of where, he's got to run everything and what all has to happen. Found out something interesting today, actually, that I wasn't aware of. That Nova Scotia Power in Nova Scotia, we have to put a pony wall around the inside of the dome 2 feet high, because a stupid rule they have here, you have to have a plug every 10 feet. So like over by where the windows are in the dome, we don't want a plug there, but we have to put a plug there by code. It's completely fucking crazy, but figured a solution. We're just going to build a little bench along that area, and we'll put a couple plugs in the bench, and that'll appease their codes. But it's just another, one of these stupid rules that make absolutely no sense. So yeah, that's there. Nova Scotia Power, I was harassing them the other day, and we'll probably likely get power sometime in December. It's still, at least another month away. Now that's our biggest holdup. We'll have everything else done. The power will be completely all wired in. The hot tubs will be sitting there, won't be full of water yet because it'll probably be cold. And if we can't power them up, it'll just turn into blocks of ice. So yeah, basically once Nova Scotia Power comes, we'll be ready to fire the domes up and start renting the 2 of those. And then early in the spring, the plan is we'll finish up the dock and make the property a little more pretty, because we can't do a lot of stuff we want to do because it's getting too cold right now. If you start planting plants and all that kind of stuff, it's just going to die. So we're going to do all that first of the spring, and make the property look a little more, a lot nicer, because we're going to start doing weddings there in the early spring too. Once we get the landscaping done. I have 2 weddings booked. I have 1 booked for April, so I have a lot of work to get done before then. And just to give you guys an idea, the kind of revenue, like a 2-day wedding is $10,000.
No.
So, and that's for the property and the domes and the main house for 2 days. And then the domes by themselves are going to rent for $350 to $400 a day. Rent them for $400 on the weekend days and $350 during the weekdays. We can probably get away with charging even a little bit more in the top season, like August. We might even be able to get away with charging close to $500 for some nights. But typically the average from what I'm seeing is about $350 to $400. There's a company that built 4 of these domes. They're not identical. And they're in an area called Truro, which is an hour from town as well. They call it the hub of Nova Scotia. It's really nothing. It's all farms, and there's no view. There's no nothing out there whatsoever. So it's kind of a peculiar place to put them. But they're renting for $300+ a night, and they're sold out for weeks and weeks and weeks ahead of time. So, we're going to do extremely well because we have one of the best views around here. That's what I bought that property for originally. You can't get a nicer view. So it's going to be great. Everything will all be there. Our Sea-Doo rentals will be right off the dock. We're going to put on Google that we're a marina. So some of the big yachts that come in the summer, and there's actually quite a few of them now. And all the local boats, we're going to give them a place to come fill up, and we'll charge them a premium on the gas. And it's these boats take huge amounts of fuel, like 500 liters is kind of a minimum for a lot of them. And when we're charging an up price of 5 to 10 cents a liter, we'll do pretty well just by just filling up these boats too. So there's a lot of different ways that we're going to make money there, and the camping spots we'll have to do first thing in the spring as well. So kind of ran out of this time and starting to get cold, and when if the ground gets really wet and trying to do any kind of that work right now, we're just going to have a big mud mess, and we're going to cost more money and more time trying to get it fixed. So anyway, that's basically where that's all at. And I guess I'll make a comment about the withdrawals lately. The withdrawals lately, they're more, to be honest, they're more than I expected them to be. When the main, I guess we call them OGs of the project came in, it was made very clear to explain to people, like, this is going to be a long-term thing. Like, we're doing this for multiple years. It's not 6 months. It's not a year. It's multiple years, without a doubt. And that's why I had referral links. So this would be told to people, hopefully, and it'd be more explained. I don't know if it wasn't explained very well in most cases, or if people just wanted that ref money. I don't know what the case is, and I'm not going to assume or make assumptions of what happened there, but it happened one way or another. So we ended up with a lot of people that don't have the long-term vision and long-term mindset that we talk about, and that people see Jim talking about in Telegram, and Jim being very vocal about. It's because anyone that Jim got in, not one of those people clicked withdrawal. People that Jim brought in were very clearly explained what was going to happen, how this was going to work, and that it was going to be a very long-term thing. And we're building this so we can all take like our retirement money out of this thing. With crypto or anything like that, you never know what's going to happen. A trend might change on you. Something might happen. The coin might go to shit. Whatever the case may be, it's not secure money for you to bet on for your future. It just really isn't. Like, it just isn't. Now, Bitcoin, yes, maybe Ethereum, yes, to a point, but it's not money you can say, okay, I'm going to get at least $100,000 a year from this without fail, no matter what happens. And I'm telling you right now, you can bet that people are going to travel and spend money on it and vacation. It's the one thing that will always happen. As soon as the pandemic ended, people could travel. What happened? Everything exploded. Cruise line shares went through the roof. People are living on cruise lines now. You can't even get on a cruise line now. The shit's booked so much. It's crazy. And it's because people always will spend money on that stuff. There's just no doubt about it. So real estate and things like that are what you put some money in that you can live off later in life when you don't want to work or can't work, if that makes sense. And putting a large amount of your portfolio into things like crypto, I'm going to go full Bitcoin or full this. It's great and all. Bitcoin's most likely going to keep going up, but it's not. When's it stop? Right? You don't know. So, and traditionally, it's not something that people put their nest eggs in. So, and that's why I called it FlexIRA, retirement savings, retirement account, right? That was the whole point behind it, right? To try and get people to understand this is something that, we're going to have for 10 years plus, as long as nothing happens to me and, whatever. I'm not that old yet. So, speaking of which, it's my birthday in like 3 hours, but anyway.
I didn't know if we wanted to say that, but happy birthday.
Yeah,
happy,
my birthday.
Almost birthday.
3 hours. Yeah. 45. Oh God. But yeah. So anyway, like that's all I'm gonna say on that. As far as withdrawals go, there's not much pending right now. I paid almost all of them out. Something like $140,000 already paid out, and like 16 or something left to go. I'm just paying them out as I get decent trade wins and things like that, because I don't want to be dumping our HMS bag at lower prices right now. I'm investing a huge chunk out so we have them ready to dump whenever we want. But right now, with the bull run just about to start, really selling alts right now that are gonna pump like crazy just seems crazy to me. It just seems absolutely crazy. And I would rather deposit more of my own personal money into the fear cap to take that money up my share and then pay some of these people out if I need to, because I know long term this is going to be around, and it's my project, and I'm not going anywhere. And I've been around for a number of years now with Flex Crypto, and people know me pretty well. I'm not going anywhere. So,
No, exactly.
And the thing is, what people got to realize too, like if some people withdraw to put money elsewhere for quick gains or whatever, that, you know, that's fine. It's your money, it's your choice. But just think of some math for a second. We have 60,000 HMX at $10 a piece. That's 600 grand in the treasury. Now, if HMX goes to, let's say, $30 conservatively in the bull run, that's $1.8 million. That's more than our entire TVL cap by a long shot. So whatever you have in FIRA, when I just sell those coins and dump it all into the pot, you instantly over two times your investment right there alone.
Yeah.
So like, it's just with things like this, it's just have to have patience. I've been through a bear market and a bull run before. We're just getting started. Alts don't run until Bitcoin's done pumping.
Exactly.
People sell some Bitcoin and they take their profits off Bitcoin, then they go into riskier things, which alts are. So people just need to just be patient, because we have a very good position in what's going to be a very big site. But we're not dumping the coins now at at least a third of what they're going to be worth, because with the low supply of HMX, it's not going to take a lot of money being deposited to crank the price over $50. It's really not.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's only 1.1 million tokens in circulation, and it only goes up by like 800 a day. So, but in the middle of the bull run next year, there's still only going to be like 1.4 million circulating tokens, or 1.3 million of the 10 million max. So the price is going to shoot up with just not big amounts of money. So it's going to happen. Like, I know it's going to happen. So we just need to be a little patient, and everyone's going to get a huge payday right there alone.
Yeah, and I think that's probably one of the biggest things is, unfortunately, people hearing bull runs here or bull runs starting is they panic and they go, oh, and they see what's coming in now, as opposed to thinking, hey, I trust this guy. I know he's going to make the right decisions with the money. I know I'm going to get paid out just as well, if not better, than if I pull this out and put it somewhere.
People got to realize I am like 16 or 17% of the FIRA cap myself. I get paid out when everybody else gets paid out. That's the thing. I'm not making any money literally until I dump that HMX and these other things and take money out of FIRA myself. All this is doing right now is costing me money and costing me time.
Well, exactly.
And I'm literally not getting anything out of it. And when I started this, I said I would take 10% of the profit on top of my share of FIRA as like a management fee for doing all this. And that 10%, I haven't taken it once yet, because I've been putting it all into getting the cap fill, so we make sure we have enough money to finish building everything we want to build.
While trying to pay out these people that are
people that don't have the same idea as us. So it's been a bit of a juggling act, and it's completely impossible for me to make a plan and tell people, okay, well, how much rewards we got to get and when, until I know how many people are still going to withdraw and they're gone. I can't. I have no idea. I could wake up tomorrow and there could be $30,000 more withdrawals, and then whatever I told you guys is all bullshit now, because now there's $30,000 more withdrawals to get rid of, right? So it's people just gonna have to be a little patient. We'll know guaranteed over the next few weeks, because almost everyone with any size of wallet that's gonna matter is in their unlock. They're out of their unlock period. So if they're gonna withdraw, they're gonna withdraw pretty much right away. So within a few weeks, we'll know exactly who's left, if any. Like, this might be it now, right? Like, but it might not be. So we'll know in a few more weeks exactly how much is there. Like, there's not much. I only got, like I said, 17 or 18,000 left to pay out right now, and the money's there in the trading account, but I'm using it to trade right now. I don't want to give it to
you don't want to cut ourselves off,
right? And have no money to trade. So so we just gotta, in a week or two, I'll know, and then we'll pay out those people, and then we can make an actual plan. And our USDC that's coming out daily from HMX stake and things like that, and our Radiant revenues being generated, and the Airbnb, that money can start going into rewards and then get compounded into the cap for the people that are staying. We max out our cap, then we have enough funds to make sure we finish building everything out in Pope's Harbor with the dome property. And then after that, we just start selling HMX and start selling our rewards out of our treasury, and the real life asset brings in the money. The rewards from the treasury we sell off, and it just keeps dumping into the reward pot. And once if HMX does what I think it's going to do, or even close, our APR is going to be really nice once we start dumping that. So I don't know exactly what it'll be. It depends. It depends on if people come, go, and everything in between. But I know if it does what even close to what I think, we're going to at least double our cap value there alone. So, if that, and that's going to happen in the next year, before the next year's out, because HMX should be well pumping by early next year, well pumping by then. So nice. If everyone 2 times their investment in a year, well, everyone did really well.
And so, better than they would have done anywhere else. So,
well, and I guess everyone's already up 20 or 30% or more, depending on when they got in already, too, right? So,
yeah, on something that they didn't have to wake up and worry about every day, like other DApps that are out there.
Well, that's the thing.
So, one quick thing, Bill. I just want to get this out now. It's kind of a call to action, I guess. Usually, I save them until the end, but I want to make sure this one's clear and that we say it at least once or twice during this whole thing. I don't think anybody watching this live anyways is of the mindset that they're thinking of leaving it all. Otherwise, why they're here. Hopefully, if there are some people that are trying to learn more about it and are here or watch it later, I want to make sure you all know now is the time. I didn't turn my light on today. Now is the time to get out if you're thinking of getting out. But realistically speaking, I would suggest you actually take the moment and learn about what's going on here right now and the efforts that are being put in. I'll probably do a standalone video next week as well, just to go through kind of a synopsis of what we've gone through here. But I think everybody needs to really take a moment and kind of reflect on what they're doing and decide and understand what's going on here and the long-term effects of this and be in or out and make that decision now. Because I agree with you. I think there was a lack of communication sometimes on how people presented the opportunity because people were hearing about it. It got popular really quick, January, February kind of thing. Because
that's because of my trading, and that's
exactly that's what I'm getting at.
And people thought that would continue forever, and it's
exactly, yeah.
I don't have time for that to continue forever and all the time. But like example, I made almost 100K on my vacation, and which paid out everybody, and I didn't have to dump any HMX or any of our treasury to do it.
Yeah, which was amazing, and I appreciate that, but that shouldn't have had to be done.
No, but I shouldn't have. That's the thing. I shouldn't have had to do it, but I did, and it is what it is. But, and like I said, I take responsibility for it. I should have set up things differently in the beginning, so this couldn't have happened. But it is what it is. So
exactly, and like I said, it's either could have been set up differently. Communication could have been a little different. Hindsight's 2020. The fact is that remains right now is there has been now almost a year of proof that there's something special here that is very different from everything else in the space, like very different. And people need to decide whether they're in or they're out. That's the be all and the end all. So exactly. I just want to make sure that's clear.
People that are with us for the long haul, because it's hard to build a real business when every other day you need someone screaming, "I want my money back." Yeah. Like you don't. And I use this analogy, and I said it to Jim and to Hayden, and it's true and it's funny. Like you don't go. And let's say you and 2 of your friends split on, you all put your money together and you're like, we're going to buy a McDonald's franchise. Okay. And the McDonald's franchise, you get approved for it. You all put in $300,000 each or something because it's like $1 million, and they start building it. And 80% through construction, one of the guys goes, "I want my money back."
Good luck.
You know what I mean? When you think about it, like it's kind of crazy, right? So, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, exactly. And and I think if I'm correct, correct me if I'm wrong. If you request your payout, you stop earning, which I think is kind of like that scenario. That is a good thing
right away. Yeah, because because what's going to happen is when I start, once I have paying off withdrawals now from some trade profits and things like that, as every couple of days. But what's going to happen is I'm going to end up selling like HMX and things like that, putting it into the rewards pot. People will compound that. Then they compound that, so their share will go up. And then I'll take the compounded rewards, I'll dump it into the withdrawal queue, and then that'll pay out the people sitting in the withdrawal queue, right? Gotcha. So that's how it'll work. And then so the people that are staying will benefit, and the people that are leaving will just get their money.
Yeah, exactly.
And they won't benefit and they won't benefit any longer, right? So
that's the way it should be.
And that's the thing. If you want out, hit the withdrawal button sooner or than later, because it's a queue system. So if you're behind 6 people or behind $40,000, let's say, it could take you a month or more to get your money. So don't think, oh, I need this money in 3 weeks or 2 days from now, and just think you're going to click withdraw and it's going to pop magically, because it might not. So and I'm being completely honest, like I'm not dumping HMX to pay people out at these ridiculous low prices. I'm just not doing it. It is crazy.
Well, and again, we're not here to benefit the people that are hitting the withdrawal button. We're here to benefit the people that are sticking around and supporting the product.
And the amount of people that are sticking around compared to the people that are clicking the withdrawal button, there's way more. Yeah. I know personally at least $700,000 of the TVL, or 600,000 or so, somewhere in that ballpark. I talk to them all the time. So without myself included, which is another 170,000 or 80,000. So I know that majority of money is here for the long haul. So I know the people that are clicking withdrawal are definitely the minority. There's no doubt about it.
Well, and they're the guys that have 1,000, and not to discredit them, but it's the smaller guys that just
they mostly
their money and everything else. And they're like, I need more play money to try and hit.
It's mostly been between 1,000 to 3,000 has been the majority, and there's been a lot of those, probably 25 or so of those. And then there's just been a couple bigger ones, but like 15 and 17,000, but a couple of the bigger ones. One of them I knew about ahead of time. He's has like $80,000 in FIRA, but he needed some money out to pay for some stuff at his house. So I knew about that well ahead of time. It was
that's respectful reasoning.
Oh, I could plan for it, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The withdrawal button, and when this was explained to all the OGs, and I might not have been fully explained to everybody else. But the withdrawal button was meant to be for like emergencies, and it wasn't meant to pull out your whole bag ever. Like it was meant like, okay, you had something come up, you have 10 grand in FIRA, your car broke down, and something you need to fix, you need to get it fixed. There's no doubt about it. You have to get the car fixed. It's like $1,800, whatever, let's say. Well, then you tell me, hey, Bill, you hit withdrawal. There's always a fund of money there. I pull out the $1,800, give it to you. You go fix your car. Everybody's happy. We keep moving along. And I had roughly, $70,000 sitting there set aside in USDT, just waiting for that. But then as soon as the 6-month window came, it was like over $100,000 in like the first day in a like 30 something hours. And I'm like, well, there goes that money sitting aside. Right. So, like I said, it's hard to plan and to do anything when that kind of stuff's going on. Right. So, like I said, we just need to know who's planning on staying around and who's not, because the real money is going to start next year. If to be honest, that's when the real money is going to start, because the domes are going to be printing money, the CDs will be printing money, the car will be printing money. We'll have the weddings going there. There'll probably be a wedding almost every single weekend, right? Like that's 40. If we have a wedding almost every single weekend for, let's say, 5 months a year, that's $40,000 a month for 5 months. There's 200 grand right there. Like, these real life assets can super, super quickly build up money, and people just need to give it a chance to get them done. Right. So,
exactly.
Setting up a full wedding venue, 2 domes to rent, a house to rent, a huge dock, and all of this it'll be all fully done, domes, everything, and dock and everything will be done by the summer, like June of this coming year. So that's 1 year basically full around, and everything's fully operational. So that's pretty darn quick, honestly.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Like, and that's what I think. Forex Shark held people's money for what, a year before he rolled out.
You had to go there, right?
Like, but it's true. Like, this man literally held people's money for an entire fucking year or more, and everyone was okay with it, right? So but that's crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Like that is crazy to me, right? That people were okay with that. So the situation here is a totally different situation. So hopefully people understand that, and I want people to look at this like it's a business. It's not a DeFi protocol. It's not whatever you want to call it. It's a business with a crypto treasury. And that's the way you need to look at it. And if you're thinking about bringing someone in, that's the way you need to describe it to them. Yeah, we run a business that has vacation rentals, weddings, and we have a crypto treasury. And that's what it is, right? It's pretty simple.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's what needs to be. And that's the message needs to get across. And again, more of that done. And we'll get to that and do it. I think even the Discord needs to be used a little bit more. I do want to kind of segue a little bit here.
Discord. That's why I don't go in there. Like, I hate fucking Discord. I've never really liked it. So
it's got its value. There's goods and bads. I appreciate it for its organization, but I definitely do, because you can make it like a Telegram, but have the information more organized. But everybody has their pros and cons.
Benny had to 2FA his Telegram so he could give me ownership of Flex Crypto, because Benny set it up like last year, a year ago or whatever for me originally. Benny did all that. Okay. So he's going to move ownership over to me. And once he does, we're going to set up in Flex Crypto, first of all, we're going to set up the multiple channels that you can set up now in Telegram. And we're going to have like a research channel, and we're going to have a FIRA channel that's invite only. And we're going to try and move everything into this one big thing with sub channels.
Nice.
So we can get a lot more organized. But I was trying to do it last week, and then I realized that Benny had to transfer ownership, and then we realized you have to 2FA, and that takes a week. So I think we got a day or two left to wait. So
you should be handing that stuff over to people like me or Hidden or whatever to take care of it. You've got other stuff you need to do.
Well, once I'm owner, I can just turn it on, and then people can do whatever, right? So
True.
It's just it's a pain in the ass. Like, I was gonna think of giving it to Hayden or someone else, but then it's a pain in the ass because, like, here's the situation right now. Benny's not around that often anymore, so now it's a pain in the ass. And I'm not saying it's gonna happen with you or Hayden, but it could.
Exactly.
Right?
No, you're right.
So, and then now I got another pain in my ass again.
All good. All right. So I'm going to segue kind of a little bit just to go through some of the more, because we've talked about some of the IRL stuff. Darren obviously asked, and I'm sure a lot of people are interested in just obviously a little update on what the PAM is doing right now. I know we've been pretty up and up on that.
Yeah,
on
the PAM hasn't done. It's live. They had Phil had to make a few changes right away, basically when it went live, and it's up 0.01%. It only ran a little bit on Thursday, and because of news filter stuff, it didn't run today at all.
Which is probably good. Today was a little bit crazy.
Yeah, today was kind of fucked all over the place. So it didn't run because of news. So the PAM, in all the back tests that Phil's done, it's got 3 different EAs running on it now. And each one runs in a different session. So you got like an Asian, a North American, and a London session EA. So we should get trades depending on news days and everything, of course. On average, for the back test, it'll do 2 to 3 trades a day across the 3 on average. Now, mind you, so some days you might get none, and one day you might get 6. And then with all 3 of them combined without compounding. So this is if you just took out your money every month and just left it and put it back to your initial every single month, reset it basically. It would make it was basically ranging around 105 or so % a year, which is fucking phenomenal.
Yep.
Now, with compounding, because the EAs, if you leave your money in longer, the EAs will slowly up the max lot sizes and such. So you'll end up basically compounding and making more money. Now, you can't do a back test with compounding because it just doesn't really work that way. So in any event, you can assume you'd probably get an extra 30 or 40% if you left your money for the whole year.
That's fair.
So that should be somewhere around 130 to 140 for a year. And all the backtest results were showing a drawdown of under 3%, which is amazing. Incredible. And there was one day that hit 5. He was doing 7 and 10 year backtests. So they're long, and he on 2 of the EAs, I think, but one you can't. You can do forward testing. So there was forward testing done for like 2 weeks. And it looked like it was doing really well. It was like basically it was same results as the back test. So, which is exactly what you want to see. And when Phil does the back test, he uses Tick Suite. It's a special software package you got to pay for that gives you way more accurate data. So the back test that you would do without this, and then the ones that you do with it, they're pretty different. And like you might with the non-Tick Suite, like doing the test, it would say like 200 and something % for the year, and drawdown of like 8%. But in reality, it's less APR, but way less drawdown, with the proper tick data, if that makes sense.
Yep. No, that's great.
So yeah. So anyway, next week, we should see a lot more action, hope, with them. Like I said, they're all fired up. They're on a dedicated server now. I set up a dedicated server for them. And we had to move servers to New York from London because IC Markets. So IC Markets is in New York. Their servers and Hanko and a lot of the other guys were in London. So I shut down the VPS, and because we needed more control, I had my admin Yuri set up 24/7 monitoring on the dedicated server. So if the dedicated server goes out for any reason, my tech admins that watch my other servers, they get dinged, and they will fix it right away and find out what's going on. So nice. Because we don't want the bot server going down and no one noticing, that would be terrible. And then the other thing, that the good thing about the PAM is all of these bots have hard stop losses with all their trades.
Perfect.
So if something fucks up and like the internet connection at the data center goes out, well, there's nothing my guys can do about that. There's nothing anyone can do with that except the people at the data center. So if that happens, we can't get to the bot, and the bot might not, do what it's supposed to do for whatever period of time. So worst case scenario, it hits a stop loss and we lose a little bit of money and nothing crazy.
We live to trade another day.
And then once the server comes, once we get internet back at the server data farm or whatever, we turn it back on, away we go.
Yeah.
And that is likely going to happen at some point. The data centers are usually really good. They usually have backup redundancy, but even my data center that we do a lot of streaming server stuff from, even them, they'll have an outage here and there, and it may not be very long, but it happens. So
prepared for the worst. That's the good thing.
The way with the PAM, the second people that sent money to Sam, that all got deposited. That's running right now. The first money that I wired to IC Markets are a bunch of lunatics. Anyway, the shit they made me jump through to prove that it was mine. I'm like, are you guys nuts? Because I sent it from my personal account. And I sent it from my business account because my business account has a wire key, so I can do it right from my computer. I don't have to go into the branch. So nice. I just moved the money into my account, and I went and wired it to them. There you go. Well, because they're anti-laundering rules and all this shit, because it's not the same. I'm like, I own the company too. I own both. I'm me, and I own the company. And I'm like, would you like my corporate resolutions, like my paperwork that says I own the company, right? And I'm 100% shareholder. And they're like, no, that doesn't work. And so I had to make a loan document from the company to my personal name. I'm like, are you guys nuts? So anyway, I made that.
That means less than your documents you wanted to show them.
I know. So I sent it to them, and then I sent them back saying, look, I just want my money back, right? I just send it back at this point. I'm like pissed off. I'm like just fucking annoyed with you guys. Because I got an account through Jay's wife in the Philippines that we can use USDT in and out. It's nice and fast, none of this wire crap. So I'm like, fuck this, right? Just give me my money back. Yeah. So at first it gave me such a hard time basically saying like laundering or whatever. Then what the fuckers do? They deposited it into my goddamn trading account. I'm like, no, I want you just to wire it back. So then I get back an email. Yeah, just log into your trading account and request a withdrawal. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, I asked for that in email. Why did you even put it in my account? Like, why did you just send the wire back? And it's fine. There's no fee to do it or anything. It doesn't cost anything, but it's just like, I'm like, why? Like, why?
Why make extra steps, extra freaking delays?
This is fucking stupid. So I logged into IC Markets and hit the button withdrawal, and that was yesterday. So now I got a thing today saying the wire is processed. So now Monday we should get the wire back in my account, or Tuesday at the latest. It should be Monday. And then I take that money, I got to put it into my ShakePay account. It's a Canadian thing. If people in here are Canadian, if you're not, you probably have no idea what it is. Then I'll load. Then I'm going to send that right to the PAM. So I apologize with the rigmarole, but fucking having to do it with wires. I'm glad we got Jay's account. That's all I'm going to say, because if we would have had to wire in and out once a month, I think my accountant would have shot me. So
because, man, how many shake days have you gotten in a row? Are you good at doing the shake thing?
No, not really at all.
Neither am I.
I don't really care. I just really use it to buy a lot of stuff. Like I take a piece of my paycheck and I send it to it every week. And then I'll buy, and I got this, I have it on my woman's phone too. I gave her my ShakePay. So we get our groceries, our gas, all that stuff. I just tap the card or my phone, and I get the Bitcoin cash back, right? And I've been doing it for quite a while now. I got, I don't know exactly in total value now. I probably got like $3,000 in Bitcoin cash back.
Nice. I got a couple of ShakePays. I got a couple $100 bills paid for when they used to do that.
Oh, nice.
Anybody in Canada
that
doesn't
was
know
real cool when that used to happen.
Yeah.
I got like a $80 bill paid one day. I was like, what? Sweet. I'm like, that's awesome.
We digress a bit, but any Canadians, if you want to know if you don't know what ShakePay is, send me a DM. Because there's some referral stuff there, but it's a sweet little program. And now you can have your income come in now.
Well, you can have direct deposit to it like a bank account now. They're adding in, you can pay all your bills like your bank account.
Yeah.
So they're really gearing up so you could just have ShakePay and not have a bank account.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think they got forced. I'm surprised they didn't do it sooner, but obviously it was something to do with legislation because the second that oh, what the hell, Spritz came to Canada,
Yeah,
they all of
yeah.
a sudden had all the features.
Yeah, I think it was government laws and bullshit that ShakePay would have had it a long time ago.
Yeah,
But I think Spritz has a lot of money. They're big. They've been in the U.S. for a long time. I
yeah.
think Spritz probably pushed lawmakers to make those rules change. So it's a good thing for us because then we get ShakePay. So
Yeah, well, exactly, which I'm fine. I prefer Shake Pay over Spritz. So for
ShakePay, I like ShakePay a lot better.
yeah, yeah, no, it's cool. So yeah, Tet was just asking. Yeah, it's Tet. It's basically it's technically Spritz is like Shake Pay because Shake Pay was first.
Yeah,
It
ShakePay was
came out
around
before
for a
Spritz
while.
did in the States. It's been out for years, a
Oh
couple
yeah,
of years.
years
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
so it's pretty cool.
Oh, have you seen Bitcoin Well?
No,
That's been around for a long time. I think it's Bitcoin. Just Google Bitcoin Well at some point, and
yeah,
it's a site that you can anonymously like pay bills and stuff. Like it's crazy with crypto. So you can pay any Canadian bill. You just put like your power bill number in and all that shit. It'll give you like a USDT address to send money to. You just send USDT to it. And boom, your bill's paid.
oh, nice, that's cool,
Yeah.
neat. Yeah, there was another one. I used Paytree to pay myself out at first, but now
Yeah, I used that Bitcoin Well before ShakePay had that shit.
nice, cool. We digress. So I'm trying. So the bonds and stuff. Is there any update on that? I know that's still been.
Honestly, we're just pausing on it right now.
Okay.
I have fully intention of getting back to it, but we got to get fat is getting very, very close. And that's brings me to another thing. Dimitri has one more like UI type update to do next week. He's going to push that update. He's got it done. He's just checking everything to make sure it all looks good on phones and all that kind of shit. And then once he pushes that next week, we can start making some basic how-to videos and stuff. And then we can open the doors for like open beta basically, and anyone can just come in with a referral link. We're going to track people who refers people. So you won't get any money right away because it's all going to be free, but we're going to put in the database the people you referred and all that. And then once we do start charging after our open beta is over, and we're charging per transaction, the people that did the referring you'll get some money out of it.
Nice.
I'm not exactly sure what the percent of each transaction is going to be. It'll be somewhere like 5 to 8%, maybe somewhere in that ballpark. Okay. And people are going to buy text packages is how it's going to work. So they'll pay so much money for like 1,000 transactions on FAT, or so much money for 500 transactions. It'll get cheaper the more transactions you buy is kind of how the model is going to work. And the biggest thing for FAT, while open beta is going on, Dimitri is going to be, we're going to sell NFTs too. We'll talk about that more later, but we're going to sell some NFTs that will also earn you a share of FAT's revenue for life. That's how we're going to do a pre-sale. We're not doing a token with FAT at all. I'm sick of tokens and value going up. Now we're not doing a fucking token. We're going to do an NFT. You're going to buy. We're going to have like, let's say 500. Don't quote me on these numbers. They may change, but let's say we have 500 NFTs. Basically, I'm going to sell off probably 40% of FAT's revenue. And as NFTs, I'm going to take that money from the NFT sales, and that's going to be used to hire a few more developers to help Dimitri and pay their salary for a couple of years. Okay. So we can continue to add shit to FAT for like a few years. The people will be paid that are working on it. We won't have to worry about paying them. It's all done. Once I figure out who I'm going to hire and how much that's going to cost me, that's what the pre-sale is going to end up being. It'll probably be somewhere around $300,000 to $400,000, somewhere in that ballpark. You'll buy the NFTs. The more NFTs you hold, the bigger share of the profits you're going to get from FAT is how that's going to work. Nice. Then we'll get the biggest thing once we're all live. We'll first get the NFT selling. We'll get the page up for that, and then we're going to add custom triggers to FAT. Now, this is the most exciting part and the biggest part of FAT that's going to make it tons of money and tons of users. So if anyone's used a site like a money market site like Radiant Capital or AVA, AAVE, or however you pronounce it, basically you put money in there like USDT or BTC or whatever, and then you borrow against it, and that earns you an APR. And then people also put money in their stables and they'll borrow against it to trade, and all kinds of different reasons people use it. Now, those sites, and also if people have seen the new Vaultica site that you can do leveraged LP, all of these sites have one thing in common. They have a liquidation point, a point where the price goes too low, you lose all your money, and it's bad and it sucks. And if you're not paying attention, these sites don't have anything built in. They don't They don't email you. They don't fucking telegram you. They don't text you. They don't care, because guess who gets the money if you get liquidated? That's right, the platform owners. So they
Yep.
don't give a shit. So in any event, what FAT's going to do with custom triggers, one big use of custom triggers, and there's going to be many uses. This is just one. The one big use is you'll be able to set it to watch your health factor on these sites. They call it a health factor. If your health factor drops under a certain amount, it will be able to withdraw some of these assets automatically for you, then repay down your borrow, which will up your health factor, and you avoid liquidation and don't lose all your money.
Nice.
So, and that feature alone, Radiant Capital has 500,000 users alone. Ava probably has 2 or 3 million because it's been around for a long time. So, if we get 0.01% of all of Radiant's users and Ava's users, and I mean 0.01%, we'll have at least 10,000, 20,000 users on FAT. And people who bought those NFTs will be very happy.
Yeah. And with the NFTs, actually, just as a side note, would those also allow them to use the tool with reduced or no fees?
We're going to do something like that, where if you have the NFT, you'll be able to use the tool for free. Like, you won't pay a transaction cost at all.
Nice.
And then you'll also get, and the NFTs are going to be very limited. So there's literally only going to probably be 1,000 at the most. So I'll probably raise 400,000 to 500,000. So let's just say 500,000 for argument's sake, and there'll be 1,000 of them. So they're going to be, there'll be $500 a pop, right? And how it's going to work: if you have 3, then you'll get more share of the profits. If you have 4, same idea, right? Yeah. So, and you'll just have to hold them in your wallet, and that's it. You'll get the money. You won't have to do anything else with them, and they'll be made so that if you want to, you can sell them on OpenSea too. So if FAT cranks up and they start pumping out really good passive income, like I know it's gonna over time, you can go into that and sell them on OpenSea if you wanted to, right?
Yep, nice. Just have a question here, and I kind of know the. So aside from PAM accounts, what options will there be to invest once the cap is met? Really, I mean, that one kind of has unlimited depositing power, sort of. So that's obviously a good one.
Well, the PAM, bond, you can always just keep putting in the PAM. That's the one. You're like, the FAT NFTs will be obviously another option too.
And bonds when you get back to those, I guess
we get back to the bonds, but like FAT's going to be a lot of work for a while, right? So it's especially once we get a couple more guys hired, then things will be a lot better that way. But we got to do a raise to do that, because I've paid for FAT myself. I paid Dimitri for almost a year now, salary and everything, right? So I've bootstrapped it all myself. That's another reason we don't need to do a token, because I don't really need to raise money. It's version 1 is basically done and paid for.
Well, and then it circulates its own money through fees and stuff. So
well, exactly, that's the point, right? So now at this point, I'm to the point, like, to really make it, add a lot of features and stuff. The stuff I want to add to it, it's a lot of coding. And if we have Dimitri just do it all by himself, like, everything I want to add to it, he'll be coding for the next 2 years straight. And then we'll get it all done, but it's going to take 2 years, right? So no, I don't want to take that long. So we'll do a raise while the beta is going, and while he's doing the custom triggers. And the plan will be that the payments and everything will go live with the custom triggers. So it'll be free, and the triggers at first will be free in the beta until we work the bugs out. And then once everything is, Dimitri says, okay, it's all good, everything works perfect, then we'll start charging, and everything will happen at the same time.
Nice. And Darren just asked, we had talked about FAT replacing social tools back. Now, obviously, we have the PAM. We don't need that. I know it'll be used for filling the rewards wallet, I think, is part of what FAT will be doing.
Yeah, and also Alan's talking to this guy that has this script that I've looked through a bit of it already. I haven't gone through it all yet. But initially, what I've seen so far looks good. And it's like a trade calling bot. And it calls out when to enter and TP and all that jazz. And it's got 1.5 years worth of data. And I went through about the last month, and it looked like it was smart. Like, it was entering trades in good spots, and things looked good. So I want to take some more time next week sometime and go through, more of the trades and make sure it's what I saw. It's all correct. And then
I think I know where you got that from, don't I?
Maybe, I don't know.
I do.
And then I'm going to try it out and see what happens. And if it works decently, then we can down the road we can add that into fat. So in fat we can make a call. We can make you can add like the call bot or whatever to your fat or whatever. And then you could link. Then in time you'll be able to link that to like a trading account of some sort, right?
Like HMX or whatever, even
HMX or some other or GMX or whatever the fuck. And then you'll be able to have fat initiate that trade. You'll be able to say, okay, if the bot comes in with a trade about an Ethereum trade, I'd like to copy that trade or do that, and then boom, it'll send it off and it'll do it, right? Now that's a sometime next year thing. That's not a this year thing, but it's something that I want to do in the future. We want to eventually build the copy trading type stuff into fat, but like manual copy trading, like people like me, like trading, it doesn't really make sense to have it as part of fat, because fat's all about like automation and stuff. So like the bots and that all make sense to have that kind of copy trading in there. But when we do I want to build a site sometime next year that's integrated to HMX, so we can do the actual copy trading. Like people like me or anyone else that's a good trader like Mark or whoever, Jake, can go to this site. They can then make a trade and people can follow them, and they can have like ratings and like a social type site, right?
Nice.
And it doesn't make sense to put all that into fat. It just I think it will confuse things, but the bots and stuff, of course, that all makes sense, right? Like a kind of a basic dumbed down STT, social trading tools or something, right? That makes sense to me to put that into fat. And eventually fat, I want to add like portfolio stuff, so you can see like your portfolio, what coins you have and all that kind of stuff, right? Eventually more data, because the more the better, right?
No, that's amazing. That's awesome. Looking forward to that. Anybody have any other questions? Obviously, please put them down there. We won't go for too much longer because I'd like to get.
I got to get going. My friends are all coming. It's my birthday, and we're gonna go out, so I got to get out of here.
I guess Darren's just asking, also interested in copy trading, Bill, but is that an option at some point, or?
Yeah, at some point we like I said, next year we do it, and maybe over the winter I will fire up my MEXC account and we can do some on there. But like right now I don't have the interest or the time, to be completely honest. Like,
I agree.
It's a lot, and it's stressful with other people's money and and it's just. And then you always worry if something doesn't copyright, or what if their stop loss didn't copy? It's like, right? So it's like nightmare stuff.
I hear you. I get you. Trust me, we've been part of a few different things, and it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
Tet says have a scotch or an Innis on him.
Yeah.
So other than that, guys, like I said, I don't want to keep you too much longer. Like I said, the big thing, the call to action, obviously the best point of contact for all of this stuff is in the Telegram. It is in the description below, guys. So if you aren't in there already, please have a look there. Otherwise, if you're not in it, some people might have referral codes, but do your research. Make sure you talk to somebody. Make sure somebody gives you the 911 to make sure that you're or the 411, sorry. Make sure you're clear on what you're getting into, because this is long-term. No matter what, you're looking 6 months before you can pull out. And realistically, I'd think about it more, like Bill said earlier, think about it more as a 1, 2, 3 year kind of thing.
Yeah, because next year it'll be a little different. Like next year, when the bull's going on and we're dumping HMX and we're selling things like that from the treasury, we'll have a lot more USDT sitting there that we can easily pay out anyone who wants to go. But right now, before our main money makers fired up, like our domes and stuff, which is early spring next year, before they really realistically start making good money. I just don't want to dump treasury and dump tokens at low prices, because it just fucks everybody. It just doesn't make any sense.
No, absolutely. And again, it doesn't make, like, people need to realize, like, you've got something good here. Like, have some staying power with something in this space. Too many people are shiny thing, shiny thing, shiny thing. I think that you've shown again that there's been lots of trust and faith, lots of opportunity to earn here. Yes, it hasn't been an overnight sensation, but we got to stop looking for those at some point. Like, we just.
Well, that's the thing. How many times did the overnight sensations become overnight flops too?
Yeah. And you forget to get out in time, or you don't hit it. You don't get, like, it's just so maddening.
Or how many sites did you almost ROI on?
Yeah, no kidding, guy. And when you really work in gas fees, all that other stuff, you're probably not as
worked in gas fees. You're like, oh damn, I was 4% away. Well, no, actually, you're probably more like 10 by the time you get all the gas.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry, sometimes I should read these before I put them up. 6 months before I can pull out six. I knew I should have read that before I put it up.
Yeah.
Kevin's good for those kind of jokes. So yeah, I don't see any other questions, guys. So like I said, I don't want to keep you. I think you need to have a great birthday, and you deserve a nice little
I gotta go get
R&R.
drunk. I'm trying to get
So
drunk.
yeah, I didn't want to say it for you, but
It
there
won't
you
take
go.
much. I haven't drank hardly at all since the woman got pregnant, and she's already had the baby for she's 8 months old. So it's been a while since I really had more than like 2 beers. So if the boys end up giving me a few shots or something, it's gonna be
You're gonna be lightweight tonight.
I'll have a shitty tomorrow. I'm telling you.
Do the pub crawl. Sorry, Hans just mentioned once a month divs withdrawals are okay. Realistically speaking, you guys have it loaded up, so the divs, like when you're pulling out your actual like dividends, that doesn't really matter, does it?
No, that's the thing. Like the way it's set up, like if there's money sitting in your divs, if you compound them, it's helpful right now because the cap's not full. And we still need to get the last couple $100,000 to finish building everything on the property. Otherwise, I'm paying for it out of my own pocket and then taking it back slowly over the years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's getting done one way or another. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm not having the shit 75% done, 80% done, and not spending the last couple $100,000 to finish it. That's not happening. So, I'm not going to let some people that want to withdraw and leave that don't think the same way we are ruin it on everybody. It's not happening.
But once we maxed out, I took my first withdrawal thinking that was going to be maxed out for longer, and I felt bad doing that. Or not bad. I really missed that 100% compounding thing I had. Yeah. I don't do that for any project in this space, period, except for this one. So now I've lost my 100%.
I learned my lesson on that stuff too, and it's hard. And people just got to realize, like, I have the Airbnb, and okay, just to give you an example, the property in Pope's Harbor with the 2 domes on it in the house. Once that's done very soon, if we were just decide, okay, fuck this, I want out, and I sold that property with the domes, the dock, and everything, I would get at least $1.5 million for that property.
So we're already collateralized.
That's more than what everybody. That's more than what everybody's owed by a good amount. So people just need to realize, like, their money it couldn't be safer here than with other places. Like, people can't even hack fear and take your money because it's not there.
Yeah, they have to commit one hell of a fraud to steal a property from somebody.
Man, they have to do some crazy shit to steal that fucking property from me. I'm telling you. So like. And there's no mortgage on it. Everything's paid for. Like, so the bank can't take it. Like, no one can take it. So it's there, and it's there for when, no matter what. And like, and that's the goal. Like, we build this up. We do this for 10 years. And let's say 10 years down the road, I'm just sick of running. I'm getting too old. Don't want to do it. Whatever. Maybe I sell maybe we sell it, and one of the younger FIRA members takes over it. Like, who's Canadian? Who fucking knows, right? Like, there's lots of options there, right? So and that's the thing where I'm a real person, and everyone knows who I am, and I'm not just some rando fucking unnamed person on the internet. You can trust that I'm here for this. Everyone knows who I am. Lots of people in FIRA have met me personally, like actually met me. They've been to my house. So like, I'm not like Forex and these other people. I'm just not. So you got to remember that.
We'll try and get you on camera next time. And thank you, Darren, for joining us. You had lots of great comments. I appreciate it. Thanks for hosting. My pleasure. I've been trying to get him to do this for a while. We have had the one, but the questions weren't loading, so I messed up. I did a YouTube fail there.
YouTube fail.
So we'll try and I don't want to put you on the spot, but are we going to try and maybe do something every 2 weeks for now while we're working through all this to try and
we can. We definitely can. It's just the timing. It's just
we'll make them shorter.
Like last week, the woman got sick, and right with the new baby and everything, it's just
things happen, and that's fine. And you were busy during the summer and whatnot, so no worries there.
The good thing is with the crypto side of thing, right as crypto should get crazy busy and bull runs going, and we'll have lots of IDOs. I've met a lot of people recently through HMX and Galaxy Digital through HMX, and I get the 411 on some very juicy pre-sales and seed sales and stuff now, like from real good teams that we do not have to worry about rugging or fucking with us. And there's a bunch of them coming up in the next 3 or 4 months. Nice. HMX is going to be doing another protocol totally separate that I know about, and we've been offered seed round on it at FIRA, and we can put up to $200,000 in it, and we'll pretty much guarantee 10x on it, like pretty much guaranteed. But we need to have that money there to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the thing. I'm trying to grow this treasury so that as the bull run's going, when these IDOs pop up that are fucking super fast 10x's, we can put 100 grand in it and bam, get $1 million. Oh, this other one, put 100 grand. This one, bam, get 400K. Like that's what I want to be doing in, January, February, March of next year. That's why we're trying to build up a bankroll now so we can do that. But
even raising the raise up to 1.7, 1.8 and just having a buffer there where it's just sitting there for A, withdrawals, B, for this kind of opportunities like this might be a handy thing.
Well, we have to get to the 1.6 first.
Of course. No, I'm just saying
but yeah,
as an idea going forward.
Yeah.
But yes, so let's get there. And I think we can.
What I think I'm doing is what we're going to do is we're going to have once we cap out, a certain percentage of all compounds will be put automatically into the withdrawal queue. So
for investors only, nice.
It'll just sit there and build up. So, and we'll put it on the site so that people can, you can see it in the smart contract, but we'll put it on the site so people that aren't that smart contract friendly can easily see it. And what they'll see is that, okay, there's $8,000 now in the withdrawal queue or sitting there, or now there's 10 or 12 or whatever as it built up. So then if people need a bit of money, they go, okay, there's 10 grand sitting there. I need 2 grand right now. And they'll pull out $2,000. And then it'll just drop down to 8 grand. And then as we make money and people compound, some will go into that. And then what I'm thinking is, especially too, when we're capped, like if you're pulling out your rewards all the time, I know I removed all the taxes, but we might put back a small tax, just a couple % on your withdrawal once we're capped. And that couple % will go into the withdrawal queue as well. So it's money that it'll only be a few %, and it's money that you're losing right then, but it's going into withdrawal queue that, you're going to take money out of later anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So you're eventually getting it, because I'd like to build a withdrawal queue so that we have that sitting there so that we always know we have money available for people that need money for things, because life happens, it does to every fucking buddy. So that there's money there for that kind of stuff, and that there's still money in the treasury that's free that I can A, trade with, and B, when there's these IDOs are some of the easiest money ever. Like, absolutely, as long as they're a team that's not got a rug. And that's the biggest problem with that, is you put money into pre-sale and they never launch the token, you're fucked. or they manipulate and they give themselves 10 times the tokens they should have, and they just dump on everybody. Or we've all seen it happen. But when it's coming from someone like Galaxy Digital, the hedge fund guy, or it's coming from HMX's CEO, these aren't fuck around people. So, and that's the kind of stuff we need to be doing with the bull starts. And everyone's got to stay away from the minters and all the other nasty shit that's going to come with the bull run.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of it.
It's going to be a lot of scammy fucking shit that's going to come too, I tell you.
Well, and I've seen it start now is there's even people developing blockchains that are going to be their own big rug pull, I think, because it's so easy to do it now. And that'll be the new thing.
Yeah.
Then they're going to be MLM-y and all that kind of. Anyways, it's scary to see, but it is what it is. Anyways, thank you so much for your time, Bill, and sorry to keep you. I know you could go on ahead with the boys. So if anybody has any questions, like I said, come on by the Telegram. You can always reach out to me. Hidden and I are always on our blockchain after hours at 9:00 on Tuesdays. We often have a segment of that saved just for talk about Flex and FIRA. So by all means, bring any other questions there, and I'll keep harassing Bill to come out every 2 weeks or so. We'll try and work it out. It'll be kind of fluid on the time and days, so to try and have little chats, and we'll keep them a little shorter, I'm sure, next time. It's just that it'd been a bit that I thought I wanted to give you a good chance to chat about everything. So yeah. Anyways, thanks so much, guys. We'll call that it. And Bill, any last words?
No, I'm just gonna get drunk, guys. Have a good one.
All right, enjoy your birthday.